What's going on, guys? Over here, and welcome back to a brand new video today on Assetto Corsa. And as you can see today, and by the title, we've got a brand new F1 2017 mod on Assetto Corsa called Formula Hybrid 2017, made by a group of guys from Race Sim Studio. Very awesome mod. We're going to kick things off in this video with a 5-lap race around Silverstone. Now here at the start, I kind of went a little bit easier into turn 1 just because the AI on Assetto Corsa aren't the best through the first few corners, but then they speed up a little bit, and then this ends up being actually quite an intense race. But we just narrowly missed a car there going into Village. We've got a Red Bull LRB13 skin on this car. Now this mod is basically a generic F1 2017 car made to the 2017 regulations, but the guys at Race Sim Studio have said it's not based off any car in particular, it's their interpretation of the 2017 rules. But you got everything: the wider tyres, tapered front wing, lower rear wing, shark fin and all. And it's a very, very awesome mod to actually drive. Like, the actual feeling in the car, really enjoyable. Because a lot of times when people make these sort of mods, it sometimes can't be, it's not, actually sometimes not that enjoyable. The physics just don't match up, and it's just not that great of an experience to drive. But this, I can tell you, I've only driven about, I would say, 20 laps in total. But it's a very, very fun mod to drive. But I'm just going to, shut up for a second so you can hear the sounds as well. Really awesome sound, kind of unique-ish, kind of V6, but they kind of added their own touch to it. And I really do like what they've worked on with it. So there you have a little kind of inkling of just the raw sound without me commentating over it. Really, really nice sound in my opinion. And you can see just there, I just got the front end went a little bit loose. I got a tyre on the grass there. I had to have a look at that car actually into Stowe, but then I was actually surprised at how good the braking was on the AI there, to be fair. So we're already up into P6 at the moment by lap 2. But it's going to get even more intense as we go on through the laps. I'm going to eventually catch up and try and get first place if we can. But you can see narrowly missing the car there as we go into Village, because I just slammed on the brakes real quite late, lost the back end. But you can catch it for sure in this car, and it really is a kind of... I was still finding the limit of this mod, because this was literally my second race. There's a second race later in this video in a Toro Rosso skinned car. But that was my first race. I want to show you guys this race first, this second race I did, because it ended up being a better race. But I've only driven a fair few laps, so I was still definitely not found the kind of absolute limit and confidence in the mod. Like through the old turn 1 here at Silverstone, you could probably go flat if you had the right line and the right setup, but I just don't have the confidence quite yet. So there's definitely some lifting that's going on right into that corner. But obviously turn 1 completely flat now. If we move later on to the video at Spa that I do the race in the Toro Rosso, some of those corners just so much more grip now compared to what I'm used to, like with the 2016 cars, obviously on the Codemasters F1 games. But obviously this, even the fact it's on Assetto Corsa makes it feel different. But yeah, this ended up being such a really nice race to actually do, because I was having to actually really push quite hard, but at the same time be tentative, because obviously there's no kind of replay system on Assetto Corsa, so if you lose the back end, you lose the back end. So I was being tentative, but also at the same time wanting to push the limits to try and actually catch up to these AI, because they're actually surprisingly decent once they get into the race. Once there's like, a few laps gone, they're actually pretty quick. So I had to actually push, but at the same time, didn't want to lose the back end at any point. So it's maybe hard to see from this perspective, but in the car, in the moment, my feeling with the steering wheel, you can see here, going deep and having to do a bit of a switchback move with the AI car, having to kind of go side by side. Really actually nice action there, going side by side on the exit of the Village section down towards this main back straight with DRS. But you can see I'm also on the top of your screen. You maybe see I'm constantly switching the MGUK, because in Assetto Corsa, it's got the simulation for that, for the ERS. But so I was basically switching it from low down to medium, down to up to high. I even found like an extra setting, which was like a qualifying mode from Catalonia, because I think they based it off, obviously they based it off Catalonia, because that's a good reference point. Obviously they went testing there only just last week, so there was this extra mode of ERS that I found kind of halfway through the race. But very, very awesome to kind of play around with that and try and use that to your advantage to gain on cars. And through, just about made it through and overtook that car for second place in Magnus Beckett. So now we're just purely chasing P1 here. We've got 2 laps to go by the end of this lap, and it ends up being quite a close one right at the end. But yeah, let me talk a little bit more about the mod. So I'm going to link it below, Race Sim Studio, their website. It's a paid-for mod, so you do have to pay to get the mod. But to be fair, in my opinion, that's completely okay with me because it is really a quality mod. It's like one that, I've got to say, a huge... I don't know, I really doubt if any of the guys who actually made the mod are going to watch this video because obviously I'm kind of more of a kind of a gamey kind of channel, whereas, you know, this mod is kind of more like a simulation mod, so the two paths don't really cross. But if they are watching... fantastic mod, like all props to you. It's like enough quality where it's almost like you feel like it's a DLC the game makers have made to put in the game. Like it's that much of a high quality. So if you do like what you see in this video, I do recommend, if you do have a set of Corsa obviously on PC, I do recommend checking it out. It's a really enjoyable one. I think it's not even that much. I think £4 or something like that, or £5 or something like that. It's really not that much, and it's a really quality mod, so I do recommend you go check it out. The Formula Hybrid 2017 car mod, it's called. And then the skins, if you're wondering about that, you can get them off Race Department. There's been a Red Bull one, a McLaren, Toro Rosso, Williams. I don't know if there's been a Ferrari one quite yet, actually, but yeah, definitely a Red Bull, Toro Rosso, and McLaren and Williams one for sure. You'll see the Toro Rosso one later in this video when we do a race at Spa, but I wanted to show you guys this race first because it was the more intense one of the two. You can see I've caught up to first place. Just couldn't quite get him into Magnussen Beckett. Had to back off because, as I mentioned, there's no replay camera system or anything like that. So if I bin it, I bin it. So I was a bit tentative. We still have one entire lap to go, but I was hoping to maybe catch him into Stowe and maybe into the final chicane. But even with DRS, even with the higher ERS mode, still couldn't catch him into Stowe. I actually lose the back end there. Just about managed to drift it through mid-corner there and keep the back end in check. And so we go into the final few corners, and now this will go on to the final lap, lap 5. So this is it, make or break to try and catch him. Again, losing the rear end over the curbing there into the second last corner. So this is it. This is the final lap to try and catch this car. I was giving it to my all into turn 1 and just throughout this entire lap, just sort of that kind of, I don't know if you've ever felt it yourself when you race AI or even online, that kind of tension feeling in your arms. You kind of clench up a little bit. You want to go fast, but at the same time, you don't want to lose the back end or like make a mistake. So it really was really quite intense. So we're going to try and just keep up with this. And we've got a DRS now. We've put it up into a higher ERS mode. So we'll close up. We'll probably go down to a lower ERS mode now, as you can see, going into the Lufville section, because it's not a section that I need to have the higher ERS mode. And obviously, off this corner, I want to make sure I get good traction. We tried to maybe have a look around the outside. Didn't quite work, but in second gear on the exit through there. Now on towards the old pit straight and then into Copse. We'll try and just get as close as we can. You're going to have to definitely lift off because there's a little bit of a kind of dirty air effect, and also just it's not the same conditions as it would be for like a hot lap in time trial. But you can see we finally closed up with higher ERS into Magnussen Beckett. We have the bigger balls to just about make it through. A little bit of slide on entry, but we just managed to get that, and that's into first place. And that rounds off a really quite fun 5-lap race around Silverstone. Really enjoyable. Hope it came across at how fun the mod is to drive. But we're going to move now later on into a race around Spa in the Toro Rosso, just so you can see the Toro Rosso actual skin itself. But I'm gonna leave off the commentary here. I'll let you enjoy the raw sounds of this car around Spa. And so basically, if you did enjoy the video, smash that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're new around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. And obviously, if you do want to check out the mods on Assetto Corsa PC, links below in the description. The Formula Hybrid 2017 car. But yeah, I'll leave you with that. I'll leave you with the next race, which is the Toro Rosso skinned car around Spa. At the end of the clip, I actually make a huge mistake and I kind of spin it, and that's where the video ends. So if you're wondering why it ends abruptly, that's why. But yeah, I've been over. Hope you enjoy the rest of the day. I'll see you guys next time.